the spotlight on a developing story just a short while ago. A few hours ago, it was announced that Tamil Nadu-based Lakshmi Vilas Bank has been placed under moratorium effective today until December 16. That is for a period of 1 month. Now, this moratorium effectively means that even the depositors, the account holders, will have a restriction on the amount of money they can withdraw. In fact, that withdrawals have been capped at 25,000 rupees for the period of this 1 month. The relieving or the positive side could be that the moratorium for now has been announced only for a month. Meanwhile, the Reserve Bank of India has also issued a proposal for the bank's merger or amalgamation with DBS Bank India, which is a subsidiary of the DBS Bank itself. So there is some hope. Something can be done to rescue Lakshmi Vilas Bank, and the depositors at this point should not be panicking right now. It's just a restriction that has been put, a cap of 25,000 rupees. But let me get in our experts to help you understand more about what's happening and why does this now happen a lot more often than we had earlier seen, perhaps, especially for mainstream banks, whether it was the Yes Bank earlier or now the Lakshmi Vilas Bank. Ramesh Singh, former ED for Dena Bank, joins us this evening. I also have Mr. Tamal Bandyopadhyay, author and consulting editor with the Business Standard. Let me actually start with Mr. Ramesh Singh. Mr. Singh, for people to understand, why is such a step taken by the government of the Reserve Bank of India? What is the stress that the bank would be facing right now? Mr. Ramesh Singh, that question to you, if you can explain to our viewers.
I did not get the question. Please repeat.
Why does this happen? Why is a bank placed under moratorium? Usually we only hear moratoriums that banks give to their borrowers. What's happening now?
See, in fact, this has been done to ensure that the depositors, particularly public at large, do not get into panic. It's the main reason behind. And this, you can see that this moratorium is only for 30 days. Reserve Bank of India, Government of India has already taken the necessary steps to ensure that the people do not get panic, because already there have been a PMC bank for last 1 year struggling, depositors are struggling, and so also now recently CKP bank or some bank was also, cooperative bank was also in the news. So all these things should not create panic among the public. That's why Reserve Bank of India, which has been taking entire precaution for since last 1 year, since when the company Lakshmi Vilas Bank started making losses. And since this bank's net worth has already eroded, it has become negative. It was necessary that Reserve Bank of India takes proper steps. They have already declared with whom this bank is going to be merged. They also appointed ex non-executive chairman of the Canara Bank as admin of this administrator of this Lakshmi Vilas Bank.
Okay.
So I feel it. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, please,
in fact, let me tell our viewers is, what is it, the state of Lakshmi Vilas Bank right now? The fact that, like Mr. Ramesh Singh said, they have declared losses in the quarters that have just gone by. They have seen a series of bad loans. If you see their gross NPA, it stands at about 24.45%. It gives you a sense of the kind of bad loans that the bank is actually struggling with, and they are extremely low on their capital, which is the other big reason why there has been a lot of conversation on how this bank can be saved. Mr. Tamal Bandyopadhyay, but along with the news of the moratorium and the capping of withdrawals, the news of a possible merger has come. Now, should we take it as a done deal, or is it just something that the RBI has proposed, has to be explored, and we don't know how long that might take?
Well, I'm not privy to any information, but my hunch is it's a done deal. So what you are talking about, a 30 days moratorium, will be probably not, the depositors would not have to wait for long 30 days. I think it could happen even much earlier. I would not like to believe that DBS would get into this without doing its proper due diligence and all. If my understanding is correct, this has been happening like at the backdrop for long, even before Yes Bank put under moratorium and got thing. But they did not. I think the regulator and the government did not want to do this, because then it would have created problem with Yes Bank, which is a much larger bank. So this deal has been in the making for long. That's point number one. Point number two, as you are aware that India and Singapore have that that trade kind of agreement, which basically opening each market to the other to the banks of other geographies. And DBS is one of the two banks which got locally incorporated. So in that sense, it's an Indian subsidiary of DBS. It's not a foreign bank. Otherwise, I would have said this is the first case where Reserve Bank of India is allowing a foreign bank to take over a local bank. This is not the case. It's an Indian bank. And if I would like to believe that it is at the highest level, all this discussion happened. When I say at the highest level, I said beyond the regulator. Probably at the government, between the two governments also have the discussions been on. I'm not privy to any information. It's just a guess because of the background of India and the trade agreement between India and Singapore for opening up the mutual sector. So I think it's a good deal to happen, because the one entity, one set of people that have learned the lessons are some set of promoters who have been doing things which should not be done. If you ask me, Yes Bank is far better off than Lakshmi Vilas Bank. If you know the inside story, how some of the promoters were using the bank or misusing the bank for their own personal purpose, I think this is the right thing to do, and it's a right move, because if you see the merger scheme, which says that LVB will be merged with DBS, and all the shareholders will get nothing, zero. As far as depositors are concerned, they have nothing to worry about. They will get their money safe, and probably they would not have to wait for 30 days. But as far as the shareholders are concerned, everything is written off because their net worth is negative. This bank is insolvent. So it doesn't happen very often. The bank merger and the existing shareholders don't get anything. This is one of the cases where the existing shareholders will not get anything because the bank does not have its net worth is minus. So the way they ran the bank, I think they have been taught a lesson. This is the right thing to do. And depositors have nothing to worry about. As far as DBS is concerned, it has all along been trying to get into its 1994, it entered India. And this bank, incidentally, is 94-year-old. In 1926 is a post-World War bank.
Right.
So I think it's a good match for DBS. Yes, it is committing 2,500 crore, big money, but it has a big India plans, big retail plans. So this particular entity, which has about 85%, 560 or 570 odd branches, about 85% in South India, and half of it in Tamil Nadu. So DBS will get a good grip in terms of branch network in South India. It will get about 1.6 million odd customers, which is less than its own customers, which is 2.6 million its own customers. But still, it will get customers, it will get branch network. So I think it's a good deal. Only thing is the quality of assets, as you rightly said, gross NP is 24.45%. That's the known thing. Probably it could be even more. We don't know. But I'm sure DBS is taking a calculated risk. It has done its work. And I'll repeat what you had asked me. It's a done deal.
Okay, so it's a done deal. In fact, just a quick follow-up on that, and this is, more from an understanding point of view. Mr. Ramesh Singh, the fact that the order actually came from the announcement and the order came from the Ministry of Finance. It got uploaded on the Reserve Bank of India website later, but the RBI has actually put a second circular, which is to do with the proposal for merger. But the moratorium order, is that usually something that the government gets into, or does it come from the Reserve Bank?
See, if my experience goes for last so many years, I say that they always come from the Reserve Bank of India. It is Reserve Bank of India which puts the moratorium or whatever orders are to be issued. But it is true that this bank has been in the news for last 2 years or so. Recently, when the shareholders even removed all the directors from the board, and all sort of problems were there. Net worth having turned negative, gross NPA 25%, net NPA 7%. That had called for, and then as Mr. Tamal was already telling it, because of two countries agreement, it was necessary that even the ministry is involved. So that may be the one reason why it has come from the government of India, DFS, this time.
Yes, because I found that odd as well, the fact that it's come from the government. Maybe because, like Mr. Tamal Bandyopadhyay was pointing out, there is a direct government involvement in terms of rescuing this specific bank. Yes, Mr. Bandyopadhyay.
I mean, no, it's not odd. It's not odd, and it has nothing to do with the government's involvement. Merger happens under different sections of the Banking Regulation Act and all. So under this particular section, it is the government which holds. So it's not rare. It has happened in the past.
Okay. Very quickly, Mr. Bandyopadhyay, I just wanted your view on, the conversations that happen about the state of our banks. Several of these, barring the giants that we have in our country, but the other banks over there who are facing the problem of bad loans, we regularly speak about the current conditions, the other benefits that have been given to the companies in the light of the lockdown, the fact that the banks are not even declaring any NPAs till next summer. In the light of all this, is this at least some kind of an encouraging example that if there is a tough time between the Reserve Bank and the government, we are able to figure out options and save the bank?
This absolutely. In fact, just for your viewers, between 2018 August and 2019 September, on 3 occasions, Reserve Bank of India came out with statements, and at least once along with SEBI, stating that our banking system is safe. This has never happened. Historically, only once about a large private bank post-Lehman crisis, Reserve Bank of India issued such a note that this particular bank is safe, nothing to worry about. But about the system, regulator is coming up and telling the the population of India that, look, don't worry, your money is safe. It has not happened before. It had happened in the past because of a series of events. You see the NBFC segment, you see the private banking segment, and you see the cooperative banking segment. There have been rotten apples everywhere, but this is a deal, I think, which is a very progressive deal, the right deal. And in old private sector bank, there are issues, not with every bank, but there with a few other banks as well. At least one more bank, I would not name it. We may see something, but this deal has been in the making for long.
Yes.
So Yes Bank and with this, I think there could be a collective sigh of relief from all the depositors. Look, our money is genuinely safe.
Correct.
Nothing to be worried about.
Yeah, I think both of these examples have shown, barring the PMC depositors, the PMC bank depositors who are still fighting, even though there the government and the RBI say that 80% have been covered already. But there are a few left who are still, fighting for their money. But at least in Yes Bank's case, in Lakshmi Vilas Bank, the hope is that we found a solution where the depositors' interests have been protected continuously. Thank you so much, Ramesh Singh and Tamal Bandyopadhyay, for joining us and breaking it down. So there you heard it, viewers. Yes, for the account holders and the depositors of Lakshmi Vilas Bank, you will have to go through a bit of a tough time for the next 1 month, maybe lesser. Now that the RBI has already announced a proposed merger with the bank, and so the solution is in in sight. Maybe the moratorium will be lifted sooner than 1 month, but this is the tough time. At least the good news is that the Lakshmi Vilas Bank will be saved. It will be merged with another bank, and your savings and your money will not be lost. So that's a good sign. Suffice to say, there is trouble within the banking sector, but the Reserve Bank of India and the government are fully alert and hands-on when it comes to such situations is a good sign. For the next 30 days, the depositors may have a bit of a tough time. Thank you so much for joining us on this conversation.